Welcome to the Brotherhood of Fatherhood Podcast. I am your host, Scott Remage, and today I am coming to you in a whole new platform or something I've never done before, which is nerve-wracking, exciting, but here's the truth. Josh is on vacation, and good for him. He's doing some amazing things with his wife and son, and so in true fashion, we should definitely go 100% in when we break away from work and our regular lives. When we go on vacation, we need to be all in. And Josh is really good at that. And I want to lift him up. So, first of all, if you are going on vacation soon, do yourself a favor, let everybody know that you are checked out for that time and give 100% of your attention to your wife, to your kids, to the family that you're with at that time, because it is not really vacation if you go away and work, is it? It's just replaced work environment. So today I felt really led to come and chat with you guys about leading your family in 2020. Now, yes, it's 2020. You might be listening to this in 2021. If you are, I commend you for getting through 2020. I'm sure you did it with an amazing attitude because you're listening to some really important content. But 2020, let's not kid ourselves. It's been really difficult. We've all been through the ringer. It's led us uncharted, territory when it comes to leading our family, work, social activities. We've had COVID-19 hit hard. We've had lockdowns, and we have also had a very, very strenuous, if you will, election time. And at the time of this recording, we're past the election time, and there is still so much being discussed. And there's a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of distrust, and a lot of turmoil going on right now. So I wanted to talk about leading your family through these times because men, especially, in my belief, are the ones who are called. We are called to be the ones who lead our family with strength. Whether you're a single father or if you're a single mother, that lies on you. You got to lead with strength. And we've got to take this opportunity to kind of put away all of our childish intention, our actions and our immaturities and step up in a big way. And here's why. Suicides are way up. People are losing their work. Kids aren't being able to be around their friends. There's a lot of social distancing going on, which is not conducive to good development as a child, a teen, or even someone in your 20s. This is very, very traumatic for many people. A lot of people have lost their income or at risk of losing their income. And with that comes a massive amount of stress. And so those things alone are causing families to crumble from the inside out. We also have people, let's be real. People are suffering from illness, whether it's COVID related or something else related. When you are isolated, it makes illness and just going through those things that much harder because you are not having all those people around you to lean on, to be that support, because we're all social distancing. We're trying to keep each other safe. And COVID has taken lives. COVID most specifically has taken lives of people who had previous illnesses or were of an older age, but it's still impacting people. Your kids know kids who have lost people in their families. The chances are you've lost a loved one, or and it may be of COVID, it may be something else. But during this time, it's exceptionally difficult because we're so isolated and we don't have those same emotional supports. So I wanted to give you guys some quick tips that I found super successful to lead your family well through these stressful times. And these apply all the time. I mean, these aren't just exclusive to elections and COVID-19. These are things that you can use from now on. And I can guarantee you, you're probably failing in one of these. And this is not to be judgmental, but these are things that you really need to pay attention to. So your duty is to lead your spouse, your kids, and those who follow you, those who are around you, maybe your employees, maybe co-workers. You need to lead them in seeing things in a new light. And how do we do that? First of all, we watch what we are consuming and we watch what our kids and spouses are consuming. We can't necessarily force our spouse to stop consuming certain things. We can't always be watching our kids. We won't know everything that they're doing with their iPhones, their computers, their iPads, whatever it may be. But if you're not aware of the fact that social media is steering your thoughts, your processes, what you're seeing, it is absolutely steering everything you see in a certain direction, because it's all based on AI and algorithms and things that are designed to keep your attention. So if you're on social media and you are seeing a lot of really negative things about COVID, like all anti-COVID things, like it's not real, or conspiracy theories, it's because you've shown interest in that at some point. If you're seeing all hashtag science things, believe the real science, it's because you've expressed that in some way. You've clicked on something, you've liked something, you've consumed some video. Now it is building this algorithm that continues to feed you what it thinks you want based on how you're responding. So obviously it is what you want. So I implore you, really, really think about cutting down your social media consumption. And if you're on social media or your family's on social media, understand the implications that everything you do will dictate what comes across your feed next. If you haven't watched Social Dilemma, I highly encourage you to do that. There was a Joe Rogan podcast with the guy who created Social Dilemma. That's an amazing podcast. Be educated about the implications of using social media. It's an amazing tool for business. It's an amazing tool for discussing things. It's a great way to connect with others, but it is very powerful in a destructive way. And believe it or not, you're the one guiding it into the direction it's going. So if your kids are having an issue, like I heard on Rogan, having an issue with their body weight, that equation, that artificial intelligence is going to start moving things in their feed related to losing weight, which includes disorders, bulimia, anorexia. It includes bad behaviors or bad decisions or bad or addictions that can be very harmful. So know what you're consuming and understand the implications of consuming. If you think that everybody right now is being fooled by the elections, it's because at some point you've consumed something or clicked on something that has created that computer system to fuel you more and more and more of that information. So just be very aware of everything that's being consumed on social media. It includes Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of those things. Just be very, very aware of what your kids are doing and what you're doing. And then if your spouse is really, really angry or has a lot of tension in one direction, understand that the things that she or he are consuming has a role on that as well. Okay. Now this does not exclude media. I'm talking about mainstream media. I'm talking about YouTube media. I'm talking about conservative media, liberal media, the quote unquote unbiased media, which is biased. There's just absolutely no way right now that media is not biased. Even public media, PBS or NPR, those are biased because people are biased. So the message is going to be biased. It's going to drive you in a certain direction based on selling ads, gaining more of your time, but really always comes down to money. So I just wanted you to be aware of, watch what's being consumed in your family, understand the implications, and talk about those things with your family. The other thing is just be really tuned into your family's emotions. How is your wife doing? How is your spouse doing? How are your kids doing? Be very aware. Watch for clues, watch for tips of stress, and get involved. The best thing that you can do, you guys, is talk. Have clear discourse with your family about the things going on in their lives, their thinking, their responses to things. You just have to be tuned in. So how do you guard your family? First of all, you are the leader. You're listening to this, so I'm designating you the leader, whether you're male, female, kid, whatever it is. Right now, you are the leader. You need to guard the people you love. So keep your negativity at check. Stay positive. Say positive things. Focus on things that you absolutely actually have control over. If you don't have control over something, it's okay to discuss it once in a while. Maybe there's going to be some implications that are implications on you. But if you don't have control over it, you should not fixate on it. I can't control who the next president is. I did the only thing I could and I voted, which was my right. Now I cannot spend energy. I cannot rent that space in my head to that because I do not have control over it. So guard yourself, guard your family, make them aware of that. It's okay to have a little bit of turmoil or stress over these things, but that's not what we're focusing on. Be patient. It's another thing. Just be patient with your wife, with your spouse, with your kids. Listen and discuss different perspectives. This is a favorite of mine. So when there's someone who has a differing opinion universe about COVID, maybe it's masks. I have a very strong opinion about it, but what I realized when I kept discussing it over and over and over again, from my perspective only, was that my kids got a warped view of it, and I was villainizing the opposite of my view. And what happens then is then they go out, they're doing things with friends who may have a different view, and now there's tension, frustration, anger, and it's splitting us apart. But maybe there's a different perspective their family's going into. Maybe they all are wearing masks all the time because their grandmother lives with them. Their grandmother needs to live with them. Their grandmother is really ill and is very susceptible to COVID-19. You just don't know. There's always a perspective people are coming from. Maybe that influences social media. It doesn't matter. We just have to understand that there's all these different perspectives that come in. So I work really hard at teaching my boys, like, when I say something like, hey, time out, like, just understand that maybe that family is coming from a different perspective. Maybe that kid has lost someone due to COVID. Maybe their family had a very bad experience with a certain um, leader that was of one side, left or right. And so they're very angry at the other side. We just don't know. We don't know what's going on inside other people's heads. So we have to guard our family, talk to them about differing perspectives. Let them know that that's the beauty of America. They get to have a differing perspective. So I want to talk a little bit also about kids in school, because this has been really stressful. Now, many of you might not have your kids in school right now. My kids are in school. But just a few tips. Have very clear and frequent discussions with them about how school is going, what's happening, how they're being affected by the new rules and regulations. Ask a lot of questions of your kids, get clarity. Be very clear to them that you're going to continue to ask questions till you understand what is going on, because you really do need to know what's happening in their daily lives. And then understand, if you can, what the teachers, kids, and coaches are saying at the school. Because if it's something that you agree with or don't disagree with, or that is causing your child stress, the only way to combat that is to understand what they're saying and talk to your kids about that. Hey, son, what is X teacher saying third period? Are they talking about the elections? Are they talking about illnesses? Are they talking about restrictions, mandates? And if they are, have clear conversations with your kids. They live under your home. It is your responsibility to be the leader of that mind, the development of their mind, the development of their beliefs hinges on your conversation with them. So be involved. And then the last thing two things I want to kind of talk about. One is the top-down decision. The leader of the home needs to make decisions that would lead in a perspective or in a way that is positive for the entire family. You are a leader. Again, I'll say you're listening to this, so I'm designating you as the leader in your home. Make decisions that influence your family in a way that is positive and forward thinking. You need to be future focused. Start thinking about the future. Right now, things kind of stink. And I'm not talking about the future focused, if so-and-so is in office, my life is going to be horrible. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the opportunities, the great opportunities we have every year, every month. What am I going to do? What am I looking forward to? what are we going to do this summer? Not what can't we do? Not what have we been restricted from? Not what have we lost so far, but future focused. Keep it positive. You are the leader of your family. You are the one setting the pace. So let's set the pace in a manner and direction that is super positive. And this is men and women, or whoever's listening to this again, this is where you get to practice that stoicism. If you don't know what stoicism is, go look it up. But really, it's separating your emotions from the things that you cannot control. This is pretty much the perspective of this whole talk. Is there's so many things that we can't control. So we need to separate our emotions from that stuff and say, that's a situation that is separate from who I am. That is separate from what I have control over. I can't change what's happened in the past, but I can change how I'm seeing and how I'm responding to this. And right now, that negative thing, I'm not going to respond to that because I'm not going to let it rent space in my head. So I just wanted to get on this and chant a little bit about how you can lead your family. I'm sure there's a million things more to this list, but I've had to be really intentional about how I'm talking, because there was a point when my son said, I'm tired of hearing all the negative stuff. And it was a big red flag for my wife and I. And we discussed about how we need to move forward, how we need to talk when we're around our kids, because they're not impervious to the negativity going on right now. We feel like we have a very good household. We feel like we have a good environment for them, but we still make errors. And so we had to hit that reset button and decide that right now we're going to focus on what we can control. We're going to be extremely positive. We're going to be real, but we're going to be positive. We're going to understand other people's perspectives, and we're going to control all of that stuff from outside sources coming into our head, because it's going to play a role. So you have to understand what it is and why it's out there and use it instead of letting it use you. Hey guys, if you have like any of this, if any of this has helped you, if any of this has helped you hit a reset, if any of this is you're going to put this into practice, let me know. Throw a comment down there, hit the subscribe button for the Brotherhood of Fatherhood podcast. And we just super appreciate our listeners, and we want to know that you're out there. So hit that subscribe button, give us a review, shoot us an email, message, whatever. If you're on YouTube, throw a comment down below. Share this with a friend. Brotherhood of Fatherhood is, let's see, our URL is brotherhoodfatherhood.com. There's no of in there. So, hey, thank you so much. Have an amazing week and lead your family well.